Cried a lot when all this happened. I was not sure how my wedding look will turn out, but if things go wrong, you are left with just regret, a regret for life. Hey everyone, I'm Prerna. Welcome. Karwa Chauth is around and I thought why not recreate my wedding look for you all. I got married last year November and it is so crazy that next month will be our first wedding anniversary. Time just flies. So I did my wedding makeup by myself. No, I'm not a professional artist. I'm just a self-taught person. As the video progresses, I will be sharing what led me do my wedding makeup by myself, the last minute unexpected drama that happens in weddings. Through this video, I'm not asking you to do your wedding makeup by yourself. This is just a personal learning and experience that I'm sharing it with you all, and I hope you will enjoy it. Let's get started. I've already moisturized my face and now I will start with the primer. I'm taking the Nivea Aftershave Balm as my primer. Just taking a bit of this balm and rubbing it all over my face. This has a tacky texture, so the foundation sticks well to it. Next, I'm taking the Milani primer. This is a mattifying and pore minimizing primer. It has a silicone texture and I will be applying it just to the center part of my face, which is around the nose, to keep this area matte. I have an oily and sensitive skin. I got married in Delhi in November. The weather at that time in Delhi is mostly cool and dry. I don't know if it is this primer or the weather, but it kept me matte for 5 to 6 hours. So highly recommend this stuff. Patting it so that it sits in the pores and the makeup application is smooth. I will let this primer sit in for a while, and meanwhile we will start with the eye makeup. For my eye makeup, I kept it very simple because I was very jittery that morning. We had an intimate wedding in the morning with not more than 60 people, which was followed by a grand reception in the evening. Obviously, for the reception, I had a professional hair and makeup artist. So like I mentioned, I kept it very simple for the eyes. Here I'm just priming my lids. I'm using the NYX eyeshadow base. This is the shade beige. Now I'm taking this pressed powder by Maybelline and running it on the eyelids just to set the eyeshadow base that we applied. Just running it very slightly in the crease. Now I'm taking this palette. This is called the Essential Matte 2 palette. This is by Makeup Revolution and I'm picking this shade. This is a light brown shade. I will be running it just in the crease for it to act as a transition shade. I'm taking a fluffy brush. All this makeup, you guys, I had bought it as a part of my bridal kit, and little did I know that I will be using it for my wedding itself. Next, I'm taking this palette. This is called the Unicorns Are Real. This is a shimmery eyeshadow, this golden one. I will be taking it on a flat brush. Where is the brush? Yes. So I'm taking it on a flat brush, dipping the brush in water because these eyeshadows, especially from this palette, they don't work unless the brush is wet. So you can spray a makeup setting spray or just dip it in water, and then I'm going to take this pigment on the brush and start packing it on the eyelid. Like I mentioned, doing my makeup by myself was a last minute decision. 15 days prior to the wedding, we had a change in the schedule, because of which I was left with no time to go to the studio and get ready. I discussed it with my artist and even she was busy. She had other appointments, so she could not leave her studio and come to the venue. I discussed it with the artist who was doing my engagement and reception makeup, Even she was busy, she could not visit the venue. Then I checked with other artists and they were hell expensive. By hell expensive, I mean I shared with them that I'm going for a very subtle look in my wedding because I have a grand reception and that look will be heavier. So what are the charges? And they were like, since it's a bridal look, be it heavy or subtle, we are going to charge as per standards. And I'm sure makeup artists would know the reason behind it, but they were hell expensive. So I discussed everything with my mom and sister and took this decision to do the makeup by myself. It was a scary decision because, you know, with such decisions, if things go right, everybody's like, wow, kudos, she did her makeup by herself, patting the back. But if things go wrong, you are left with just regret, a regret for life. Wish I could have done that, wish I could have done this. So it was definitely scary, and I'm sure the girls who are watching this video right now will relate to it. Now once I've packed this eyeshadow all over the lid, I'm going back with the transition shade just to even out the edges very slightly with a very light hand. I've zoomed you guys a little bit closer, and now I'm using the Nykaa I Am Bold Kajal to tightline the waterlines. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm wearing my chuda. I was wearing it that morning as well. And I thought, why not go down the memory lane completely? And I'm someone who doesn't wear much in my hands. I just like to wear a watch. So before the wedding, when I was prepping up, I was thinking, how will I even function with a chuda in my hand? Will my hands move? Will it not move? I'm sure that is the jitteriness that comes with weddings. I think this much is enough. Now I'm taking tapered brush. All these brushes are from Amazon. I will link it in the description box. This helps me create a fake wing. I will not be winging it completely because I did not do it that morning as well. I was so nervous. I was like, जितना आता है उतना अच्छे से करो. अगर दोनों wings एक जैसे नहीं हुए, then what? So I used this tapered brush. First, I will be smudging the upper waterline a bit, the lower waterline, and then using this angle of the tapered brush, I will be winging it a little. See. Then I will go with the eyeliner and make this wing little prominent. So guys, I'm done. I have winged the eyeliner very slightly. I have been applying eyeliner since the age of 17, and 10 years later, when I want the wings and the eyeliner to be perfect, my hands shake. So my learning was, stay true to what you know best, no experimentation whatsoever. Now I'm taking this dark brown shade again from the Essential Matte palette, and I'm taking it with a dense brush. This brush again is from Amazon. I purchased a pack of brushes from Amazon and did the entire makeup with it. I will be taking just a bit of this color and applying it just on the outer corner of the eyes to give the eyes a 3D effect. Now I'm going back with the fluffy brush and blending out the edges. The last step with the eye makeup was highlighting the brow bone. So I'm taking this flat brush again and picking up this white glittery eyeshadow, the first one from the Unicorns Are Real palette, not dipping the brush in water, just taking it and slightly highlighting the brow bone. So I guess we are done with the eye makeup. That is it. Before I start with the base makeup, applying some lip balm. I'm using this strobe cream. This is the Master Strobing Cream. This is the pink shade. And I'm taking a little bit of this cream on my finger, just this much. Putting it just on the high points. This cream has a tendency to look patchy, so be very careful with this cream. Once it becomes patchy, it is very difficult to go back to normal. So that is why I took very little of this cream. I'll start with the foundation. I used the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This is the shade 220. I'm taking a little bit at the back of my hand. I will be dotting it all over my face with my fingers. Now I'm taking a sponge. This sponge I think is by Innisfree. This is a damp one. I'm blending the foundation using this sponge. Make sure you don't press the sponge too hard. This is something I've learned doing makeup, is that if you press the sponge too hard, it will look very patchy. So make sure you use very light hand while blending this foundation. Tell me guys, who else believes that the lighting in hotel rooms is the worst? I was literally running from the bathroom to the dressing table to check myself in all kinds of mirrors if my makeup is blended or if there is any patchiness on the face, because the lighting is horrible. Taking it obviously down the neck and little bit on the ears. Next, to make the foundation look flawless, I had sprayed the NYX Matte Finish spray all over my face. This is over now, so I'm going with rose water spray. This just helps to settle the foundation and give a flawless effect. Next, I'm going back with the Maybelline Pressed Powder and I'm taking a fluffy brush. I will be setting only the center part of my face, which is the T-zone. I get oily hair on the forehead and around the nose on the smile lines. For the oily skin girls, I feel this foundation is really good and it's affordable. So for beginners, or if you're making a bridal kit and you're looking for a good foundation, my experience says that Maybelline is good. Now I will be applying a little bit of concealer. I'm taking the Maybelline Eraser Eye. I'm just dotting it on the inner corners of the eyes, not dragging it a lot. That is because at that time, all this stuff was new. I had used it just once or twice while practicing for the big day. And I was so nervous that I decided just to apply things in less quantities and stick to my strengths. So this is what I'm doing right now. Whatever is left, I will be dragging it to the other parts of the under eye. Yeah. So now I'm taking this banana powder. This is again by Makeup Revolution. Taking a little bit in this cap and taking the back side of the sponge, and I'm very gently pressing it under the eyes. This will set the concealer. That morning, you guys, I was so tempted to experiment, but like I mentioned, I was just telling myself, stick to your strengths, stick to your strengths. And why I'm saying that is because whenever there is something special, I have the tendency to go extra, be it with my clothes, my hair or my makeup. What my track record says that when I get ready in hurry, that is when I look my best. Now I'm going to contour my face. Nothing fancy. I am using this delicious eyeshadow. This is again by Makeup Revolution. I think Makeup Revolution has good products. For your bridal kits, if you don't want to spend a lot, I will recommend you try Makeup Revolution and its product. I have many products by Makeup Revolution and they are good. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a fluffy brush, taking very little of this eyeshadow and drawing faint lines to create that illusion of cheekbones. I have an entire video, I will link it in the description box, where I'm sharing how I contour my face using this eyeshadow. I'm now taking a fluffy brush and making sure it's all blended. I'm taking little bit on the forehead as well to conceal the hairline, and little bit on my jaw. Blush. This is the Maybelline cream blush. Just dotting it here on the cheeks. For girls who have texture on their face, I highly recommend this blush. Since it's cream based product, it will not highlight the texture of the face. Applying very little so that it looks like I am red from inside, I'm glowing from inside. I'm now taking a little bit of this concealer and slightly dotting it under the contour, very slightly. This will highlight the contour a little more and give you a chiseled effect very slightly. You know, it will also clean up the contour. Yeah, that is it. Next, I will be filling in my brows. So you guys will not believe what I used to fill my brows. This is the pencil that I used. This is a black pencil and the name of the company is faded. Anyways, this was lying in my mom's makeup drawer. At that time, I did not know the power of a well-filled brows, which now I realize that even if you don't do makeup and just fill your brows, you look put together. Anyways, so I took this pencil and filled just the front part and defined this arch on both the sides. Now obviously I don't use this pencil, I use the Milani brow powder. This is in the shade dark brown. I highly recommend this brow powder. In fact, my learning says for Indians especially, never use a black eyebrow pencil to fill in your brows if you're looking for a natural look. For a natural look, which I prefer, I like to use brow powders which are dark brown or chestnutty in shade so that it gives a natural effect. But since I used this pencil at that time, I'm just using it again. I don't know how it will look. Let's see. The brows now. This will also help blend the brow powder. I think not bad. I was thinking how will my brows look, but not bad. Yeah, I think this much is fine. I can see some fine lines on the forehead. Let's start with the hair now. I'm parting it from the center. This bun hairdo I have been doing for the last 5 to 6 years. I decided to repeat the same thing. Like I mentioned, I stuck to my strengths. The first step is take sections of your hair, roll it and pin it. I have an entire tutorial on this bun. The only difference is I had done a side parting in that tutorial. I will again link it in the description box. And now since I have to wear a mang tika, I'm doing a center part. Taking sections from the back, rolling it and then loosely pinning it. Then taking the middle section, then loosely pinning it. This gives a little bit of wavy texture to the hairdo and you don't look flat. Now I'm taking the front section, again rolling it taking hair bits along. Yeah. And now I will loosely pin this as well. Pull wherever you feel it's looking flat. I will repeat the same on this side as well. Now I'm taking all of this in a pony and doing my bun. I will be using the same clip that I use all the time to make buns. For people who've seen my hair tutorials, you guys know what I love to use. This is the magic clip. I bought this when I was in Shimla in 2008, and since then I have been using this clip. It is available on Amazon, so you can purchase it from there as well. It gives you a very clean bun without using too many hairpins. This is how my hairstyle is looking. Now the next step is gajras, so that the bun looks big and heavy. I bought a pair of gajras. This is how they look, and all of them were from a local market in Delhi. I had a sari draper and stylist for that morning. How I found her is another story. What happened, I went to a brand shoot 5 days prior to the wedding, and there I saw her draping saris on the model like a magic. I asked her if she was willing to help me get ready, because I knew I will do my makeup and hair, but who will help me put on the jewelry, put on this gajra and drape the sari, most importantly, because before getting married I hadn't draped sari more than twice or thrice. In fact, I wanted someone to help my sister as well, since she was also wearing sari. She was kind enough to agree, and she came. She helped me put my gajra and jewelry. Her name is Kanika. I will link her Instagram details in the description box below, just in case if you are looking for a sari draper who can help you or your relatives. She is very helpful and I highly recommend her. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking this gajra and I will be wrapping it around the bun. I will keep layering gajras all over the bun to make it look full. Let's see. Second. Third. I think I'll use another. 4 is a lucky number. I think this much is enough. I can't see much at the back, but from the sides it's looking good. Now before I apply lipstick, I will be doing my mascara. I used the Lash Sensational by Maybelline. It is all dried up now. Yeah. So I will be instead going with the L'Oreal one. I think both of them have the same effect. So I will be using this. But before that, I'm curling my eyelashes. I did not go with falsies because neither I knew how to apply falsies. Even today I cannot apply falsies. I'm working on it and I'm going to do it someday. Let us start with wearing the jewelry now. I'm back, you guys. I have worn my wedding sari. This is how it looks. I got this from Varanasi. This is the traditional Banarsi red sari. Now earrings time. One part of this earring fell while I was playing Dandiya this year, so please ignore that. we are pretty much through lipstick time now. I had initially thought of using Ruby Woo by MAC, but that morning when I started applying it, it was very bright compared to my sari, and hence I decided to use my mom's lipstick. This is Divine Wine. This is by Maybelline. I will be going very light with the lipstick, no lip liners either. My mom is a single parent, and I was very sure that she will be the person who will be doing my Kanyadan whatsoever, because I feel she has done beyond her best to make us comfortable and not miss our father. And to accompany my mom, I had my brother. I will throw up a picture here. This is the three of us sitting there during Kanyadan, and here I was teasing my brother over something. I don't remember it now, but he is 7 years younger to me, and I think this moment was special for the both of us. This is my wedding look. I had so much fun recreating this. It brought back a lot of memories, and I hope you all enjoyed it. The biggest learning that I had from this experience was that weddings are something, no matter how much you plan in advance, there will be something unexpected that will happen. There will be there will be a lot of drama, and there will be expectations from both the sides. That is the beauty of weddings. All you have to do is believe that the outcome will be the best, and maybe that is how it was meant to be. I will be honest, I cried a lot when all this happened. I was not sure how my wedding look will turn out. I was not very confident about my skills, but all I knew was that I have no option but to believe in my skills. I decided to play on my strengths, and the outcome is in front of you. Take everything with a pinch of salt. If things don't go by your way, believe this was the best way for it to happen. That is it, guys. I hope this was fun, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, girls.